Well, good morning, family. Good afternoon, wherever you may be joining me from. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Make sure my microphone's working. I just checked to see if it was on. Let me know you're here. Say hello. Happy Friday to you all. By the way, there's one thing I'll share with you starting out that um, I I adopted before leaving my military career, a simple phrase that helped me reframe my thinking. Since we talk a lot about mindset and thinking, I reframed my thinking by simply starting to share that I feel like every day is Friday. Why do I say every day is Friday? Well, I think it's simple. If we are working and living for a weekend, then we are not able to fully be present in the things that we're doing each day. So if I adopt a mentality that every day is Friday, then I think I can affect my mindset. So, Jamie, good morning. Happy to see you. Happy Friday to you as well. What am I drinking and where can I get it? Um, Coffee, except I'm empty. So I started on water, and I've got these nice cups here for the location I work. These are actually pretty hefty duty mugs. It's good stuff. But no, I switched to water, and I'm almost out of that. So there you go. Oh, Will, YouTube, joining me from YouTube. Good to see you, buddy. Good morning. Yeah, so I'm glad y'all are here. Jamie, I don't know if you had a chance yet to go back and review yesterday's video. Um, I, I'd encourage you to do that if you didn't, because I think your comments in the Facebook community are directly related to our conversation yesterday. Anyway, let me know what y'all are doing today. What's on your minds, and what we'll switch back to Facebook. Was YouTube working okay? And what 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 has been a win that you were able to experience this week? Bonus points if it's based on anything that we've talked about. That'd be great. Although that's not what I'm asking for. I just am looking for a way to better encourage you and continue. So let's see here. Thank you, Jamie. Jamie says she watched it this morning and she loved it. So I hope you can see how your comments related to our conversation. Yeah, so let me find my notes here and let's kick off today's uh, Daily Dose of Dan. That's right. I almost forgot. So let's see here. Today's topic is the future is yours. You get the choice today to create the future you want. Isn't that wonderful that you get to do that? You get to choose. I had a conversation on Facebook with somebody this morning. And if she's listening, I'm thankful for her because we are able to have disagreements with respect for each other's opinions and have conversation. We don't always have to agree with other people to have an effective conversation. And I think that's part of the problem with the world today, as a side note, that people are no longer willing to simply listen. If you have a different perspective, I hope that you'll allow me to take time to understand what brings you to that perspective. Without that level of understanding, there's no way that we can get along. People are too quick to judge and hate simply based off of a preference or a perspective that you disagree with. And this is not the topic I wanted to start with, but it brought me to it. I don't. Anyway, we had a disagreement on Facebook about our current environment. There are people hurting. I get it, and my heart goes out to those of you who are affected by everything that's going on in the world right now. Believe me, I hope that everyone is able to get through this and figure out what's next for you if you're in a situation where you're unsure, you're stuck, or you are not sure how to pay your bills. Especially those are definitely the people I'm concerned with. The fact, though, is this person, I won't name names. This person said that the government should do more, and I don't disagree with that statement. I think that the government could have approached this entire situation differently than they did, but it's not up to the government to support me. In my opinion, this is Dan's perspective, right? The government does not have a requirement to support me in a free economy. And that's what I love about the United States, is that we are a free economy. I think it's easy to get caught up in a support system. If the government were to provide us with everything we needed, we wouldn't be able to be happy. We wouldn't be able to pursue things with happiness and passion and all of the things that come with it. Anyway, so there are jobs available right now. And no, it may not pay everything that you need to pay. And no, it may not bring you all the happiness you're looking for. But if you are out of work, you can get a job. There are companies hiring. I see posts, advertisements, banners up. There's a car dealer down the street from me hiring salespeople right now. I see jobs available every day. And so if you're suffering, then I would encourage you to take advantage of what happens to be available right now and understand that it's temporary, right? And that applies to your current situation. Even if you're not affected in that manner, it can be temporary. So we get to choose to create the future that we want. Your past doesn't define who you choose to be. Your career choices don't define your future. Your upbringing, the family influence that you may have had. So what if you came from a poor family? You don't have to remain poor. You don't have to follow suit with those choices that others have made. You get the freedom to choose. And I'll tell you that is amazing. Even if you didn't have influences to help you make those choices, when you did make those choices, that doesn't define tomorrow for you. It doesn't define today. And that's kind of what I'm talking about today. So you can learn something new right now. And I'll give you an easy plan to do that. You can pick up a book on any given topic. And if you spend 10 minutes a day, you can read an average of one book a month or more. And imagine what that would do for you if you've pursued a book on a particular topic or books on a particular topic for the next few months. Do you think you might be able to learn something new? Do you think you may be able to start applying that in your life? Do you think you may be able to start applying that in your work? I think the answer is yes. So, yeah, if you're feeling stuck, I'm going to give you, I want to give you 3 things that you can do now, right? I had a conversation yesterday, some of the notes that came in. There are people out there, obviously, who are feeling stuck. And my purpose in some of these messages is to help you get unstuck, help you find and create work in life that you want to create, a work in life that you love, right? So I think these things will help you as you prepare for the rest of today, as you prepare for the weekend. And ideally, you can leverage these to prepare for the rest of your life. So you get to decide. Today is about decisions. It's your choice. The thing is, our emotions do not dictate our reactions. And I bring that up because it relates directly to decisions. The way we think about or interpret something causes us to feel a certain way, which then drives our reactions. So our thoughts drive our emotions and our reactions in every situation. The way we think about or interpret something causes us to feel a certain way, right? which then causes us to react a certain way. Think about it this way. If you're driving in traffic, you're stuck in traffic, whether you're going to work, whatever it looks like for you, and someone cuts you off. Think about your normal thoughts, feelings, and reactions in that situation. Many people are quick to anger or get agitated in that situation. They think that guy is a jerk, that gal is a jerk. They just cut me off. And our emotion then becomes agitation or anger, which causes us to react a certain way. Whether you give them the standard wave, or you smack the steering wheel, or you yell and curse, or whatever it is for you, the agitation drives that reaction. So that feeling drives the reaction, but it all stems from the way you think about the situation. So instead, what if you thought, wow, they might be having a bad day, or they're in a hurry, and I don't want to risk my safety. Instead of approaching it from a negative perspective, try and look at what other circumstances could be causing that situation. I've seen many people just driving down the road and they're involved in their own world. I don't know what's going on in your life today, but I'm going to let you have that moment. It's not worth the time and energy I'm going to spend in agitation, frustration, or anger in response to something you've done. So for me, I choose to look at it from a different light, which causes my feelings to change about the situation, and my reaction as a result changes. So that's, you get to choose. You get to decide. So 3 things. I told you I was going to give you 3 things. Let me give you those 3 things. Number 1, do something kind for someone else today, and then do it again tomorrow for someone else, and then do it again Sunday. That's number 1. Offer someone a sincere thank you. Did someone do something for you, past, present? Did someone go out of their way to show you some kindness? Can you offer someone a sincere thank you today? I encourage you to do that. I think it'll help you feel better. And of course, read a book. Pick up a book. Most of you have probably a few of them, if not more than a few, laying around that you haven't read. Pick one up, take 10 minutes out of your day, and just read. If you can do these 3 things, I think it will help you make better conscious choices. But it all comes down to making that choice now to do something different in your life. Those are the 3 things I want to give you today. And that's really the message I wanted to share today. So I'm open to your comments, questions. Tell me something that you've been doing this week that is bringing about change in your life. Tell me what change you're pursuing. All of those things are game for discussion, right? So I'll go to the comments and see what we've got going on in the chat. Let's see here. Jamie watched it this morning, the video from yesterday, and she loved it. So you saw how that related. Great. Thank you. Good. I'm glad you saw that. And I'm not sure if this is Will or Angela from YouTube, but I think the actually yes is related to whether Facebook was working, YouTube was working well or not. So I think that's good. Thank you. And then Jamie says, people generalized will always find a scapegoat when needed. Of course, this is an oversimplification. I know I'm well experienced in finding excuses. Jamie, we're all well experienced at making excuses. The question is, why are we making those excuses? And getting into a better understanding of ourselves helps us find those answers so that we can avoid those excuses in the future. And Angela, I think this is Angela on YouTube. Unless Will switched back to YouTube, I'm not sure. She says, they shouldn't. No. And I can't have to be honest. I'm not clear what that comment was in reference to. My apologies. But then my goal is to project calm on most situations. It doesn't always work, but that's the dream. Yeah, absolutely. There are things that still get under my skin. And sometimes I find myself reacting in a way that I don't really care to react. And I have to stop in the moment and consciously make an effort to change my frame of mind in that situation so that I can approach it better. Sometimes I just have to shut my mouth, bite my tongue, take a breath, whatever it takes to reframe my mindset in that situation. Jamie, thanks for the honesty. She says that she hasn't done anything yet to affect change. But I challenge you on that statement. And you're just being honest. I appreciate that. You're stuck in apathy. And I'll tell you, there's so many people out there stuck in apathy. And if you can just pick up one of these practices, I think that would be helpful. But I have to say that you're here on this live right now. That is one thing that maybe can help you affect change for the future. So rethink that statement. Okay. Got it. Will says he's the one on YouTube. So he switched back from Facebook to YouTube. Thanks for joining me on YouTube, by the way. And he says his comment earlier was in relation to emotions driving your reactions. Absolutely true. Actually, let me rephrase that for you as well. And this is straight out of the Master Resiliency program. But our thoughts, so an event happens, it triggers a thought. Our thoughts are what drive our emotions and our reactions in a given situation to that trigger. And it's our thoughts that we have direct impact and influence over. If we can change our thoughts in a given situation, how we would normally respond in an event or a trigger that happens, we can then impact and change our emotion and our reaction to that trigger. Again, going back to my traffic example, if somebody cuts you off and you approach it with a mindset of, that guy's a jerk, that's my thought, that's going to drive agitation, potentially, anger, potentially, and then it's going to cause me to react in accordance with my emotions, whatever that may be. But if I choose to accept that maybe that person, I almost said dude, but maybe that person is having a bad day and wasn't paying attention, and that's not my fault. My thoughts about it are my fault, right? If I think about it differently, I can calm my emotions, and my reactions will be reflected in that. So I think that's the best thing. I'll share a personal story with you. Years ago, 17, 18, maybe 19, I used to have road rage, something fierce. And there were two particular instances that caused me to reconsider how I reacted in that time to those situations. And what I didn't know is it was changing my thoughts about the given situations and allowing more patience for other people. That was really the driving factor of how I affected everything else. But I don't know what would have happened. I had somebody cut me off, or actually I cut them off on purpose because of the way that they were driving, and my thoughts in that given situation where they shouldn't be driving that way. And I cut them off, and they pulled up on my bumper. I brake checked them, the normal situation, right? And they got angry, of course, in response, and I invited them to pull over. They did, and I hopped out of my vehicle with a mag light I used to keep by the side of my door. And I don't know what happened after that, except all I remember next is my girlfriend at the time tapped me on my shoulder, and I came to, if you will. I was in a rage, and fortunately, she did that before I did anything stupid. I don't know where I would have been today if I had followed through with what was going on in that moment in time. And that situation was probably the most relevant situation that woke me up. And I could not believe at the time that I didn't even know where I was or what I was doing until that moment when she touched my shoulder. Um, and that forever changed my approach to road rage. Anyway, so we have direct impact over our thoughts, and sometimes we don't feel like we do, and that's, situations can drive us to feel that way. So, and Jamie says, I do 2 out of 3 right now. I forced myself a couple of months ago to join a book club. That's awesome. Our first meeting's on Saturday. I find that complimenting complete stranger every day is a really nice gesture. That is a great gesture. You never know what someone is going through or thinking at the time. Hearing something nice from someone unknown almost always makes them smile. Absolutely. Just offering encouragement to someone through a kind gesture, whatever it may be. It doesn't even have to be a stranger, but the fact that you're taking that and applying it to strangers is awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And then Will says, my biggest win this week would be getting a potential renter set up for next month and waking up on time every day this week. Hey, I will take that. Absolutely. Those are big wins in my book, especially if they're big enough that you shared them with us. So however you may feel about those wins, I think they're awesome. And I think y'all are awesome. So I'll take a couple more comments if you have them, questions if you have them, and then I'll wrap up today's session and wish you a wonderful weekend. And by the way, thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for finding encouragement in the things that I've shared with you, if that's you. And I'm appreciative of you in either case. I'll tell you, one of my wins this week is simply coming here and doing this each and every day, showing up. And even on the at least one day that I wasn't sure what I was doing and not sure if I really wanted to be here that day, but I made a commitment to you and I intend to honor that. And some days go better than others, but I'm glad to be here. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to be sharing with you, and I hope that you're able to take something from it. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate your kind words. Have a great day. I appreciate everything you've done and everything you'll continue to do. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you, Jamie. I guess that'll if I could speak, I guess that will about wrap this up for today. Again, do something kind for someone else. Tell someone thank you and mean it. Pick up a book. Take 10 minutes today and read a book. Even if you don't read the same book tomorrow, do it again tomorrow. So with that, I hope that everyone has a wonderful weekend. Don't hesitate to reach out. And as always, if you haven't joined us in the Facebook community, let's see, I think I left the comment. Here we go. Feel free to join us there, the Clarity Collective members. And have a great day, everybody.